That's true.
Yep.
There is definitely a theme going on.
Can we make Zenyatta's orbs bounce and explode as well? So what I'm asking for here, just to be clear, is infinite range, no damage fall off, and bouncing and exploding.
Nice. Yeah, seems balanced.
Jeff, please. I beg of you.
All right.
Gladiators on the attack as they get things started. Joe Spark on the defense looks like a mirrored composition so far.
Yeah, not too surprising. Here, the team that it doesn't pick the map picks the side first, so Hangzhou Spark opting to defend.
Yeah.
Hydration, he's played Doomfist on this map many times last year.
Indeed, trying to sneak in from behind, goes in. Oh, stun though, he's in trouble. I think he got hit with the rock there. Bezzy, meanwhile, with a kill onto Shaz, so a good start for the Spark defense. And Bezzy just a few parting knuckle shots as they back away.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hydration, it seems to be going to the front lines, while Bezzy is taking a much more flank-heavy approach. Sometimes trying to target Hydration, as we saw in our first map, and now he's going after Shaz.
So one thing I've
trying
kind of
to cut off the healing
is I feel like Rhea's ults haven't been maybe the best, but I think he's done a good job of using the accretion to stop Hydration when he comes in. There it is. Oh, roar down. Bezzy with a nice rocket punch to finish that one off. And already the Gladiators shorthanded in the tank department. They're going to back away. Any outgoing kills? Maybe they can finish off Void. He did get a lot of personal shields, though. Oh, welcome to the Doomfist.
Well, Surfboard tried to get out.
You are now part of a bus.
Teleporting right in front of the Doomfist. Sends him straight into the double-decker bus. But yeah, Gladiators are taking a much more aggressive approach here in terms of just rushing the front lines. And it's caused Wraith Form to be used early and Hydration to kind of get killed.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, Gravitic Flux used by Void. Sound Barrier comes down, prevents a lot of that damage. Though, meanwhile, Meteor Strike for Bezzy keeps him safe. It's going to be Gravitic Flux. That's 4 people caught in it. Can they get the kill?
Oh,
they get the follow-up. Rhea, forget everything I said about this guy's ultimates, man. He is doing just fine on the Sigma.
Yeah, seems like as part of that last point on Busan and now here on King's Row, they've been doing much better. That was a reactionary ult to the Sound Barrier. So they knew the Sound Barrier was going to be used by the Hangzhou Spark first. IDK drops that one. So Gladiators try and follow up and make their presence known, push on to the point. But Rhea just drags out some time as the Sound Barrier is fading away and turns it into a big Gravitic Flux.
What we're seeing, too, is that good Sigmas will build their ults very quickly. Void already halfway to another one right now. Rhea already 36% to his as well. Meanwhile, Death Blossom coming in from Surefour. No kills resulting from that just yet, though. Godspeed down. Hydration does get the finishing blow, and what that did do is it pushed the Spark back. Here we go again. The Spark are back, and Gladiators finally getting the cleanup. They're going to get the payload moving.
That they will. So Gladiators, they make the play, but a lot of their issues have come from the fact that, remember, the Spark are, in general, a pretty defensive team. We've talked about how the team they're most similar to is the NYXL. So they will sort of play backwards and wait for you to make the first move. And a lot of times they've just been sort of backpedaling while Hydration or Surefour are trying to press into their tank line. And that's forcing them to use movement abilities early. And then they found themselves uniquely vulnerable to the counterpunch that's coming in from the Spark.
Bezzy down early. Hydration just finds it in the 1v1. And it's a rough start for Spark already. Void sitting on that Gravitic Flux now, just built it up. Spark having to try to play passive a little bit here.
So have a Reaper in the back line. He's going to get in there and just die. Okay.
Hydration gets the kill into Godspeed. Yeah, they tried to go for the long flank. It was a long shot play, but not going to work out. Gladiators going to keep pushing here.
Yeah, it's going to die on the card. So what happened there is Gladiators realized that Godspeed was trying to shadow step behind them, so they just all in the 6 versus 5 in the front, managed to catch out Bezzy's Doomfist right at the start, and they're going to get some more card progress as a result. So if they can catch them in those moments of flanking, they can use that Lucio speed boost to take the 6 versus 5.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been that effective because Hangzhou has been able to set up flanks faster than the Gladiators have been able to react to them.
Now this fight's a big opportunity for Spark. They're going to have a lot of ultimates, and if they can stop the payload here with that long run back for the Gladiators, that might make it a little bit tricky for LA to finish this point. We'll see if the fight works out, though, for the Spark. Hydration going in early. Meteor Strike right away, though. He had to get out of danger. It's going to be the Sound Barrier for both sides. There's a Gravitic Flux coming in from the Gladiators. Roar down, though. Hangzhou Spark standing strong. So far, they really want to win this defensive fight here at the end of B. Bezzy loads up The right click gets stunned as he goes in though. Hydration down regardless. Gushui finds another one, and now the other DPS Surefour hits the floor as well. And Spark, they win this fight, and now, if you're the Gladiators, you got to deal with a long run back and not a lot of ultimates.
You said it before, Doa, but Rhea has been excellent at shutting down Hydration's Doomfist. Like, the accretion just keeps hitting him over and over again at the start of these fights. There has to be a different plan here for the Gladiators. They need to be able to unlock the pick potential of the Doomfist, and if he's going to eat rocks the entire game, it's just not going to work.
I don't recommend that. It's not good on the teeth. All right, Hulk brings everyone in. There it is, another one onto Hydration. Gets stunned, manages to uppercut his way to safety for the moment. That's a lot of health missing from the Gladiators right now, though. And Godspeed tried to take off more of it with the Death Blossom. Wasn't successful. Spark, though, Bezzy goes in, finishes off Big Goose. It's a good start. Oh, but Hydration with the revenge. Meanwhile, Godspeed gets Surefour, so it's going to be Hydration on his own. As far as the damage deals for Gladiators are concerned, they do, though, have that supercharger, and they're going to use it to power up Shaz's Coalescence. That's going to be a kill onto IDK, and that payload nearly at the end of B. Spark trying desperately to stop them, but they're short-handed. Hydration seems unstoppable. That's going to be the Meteor Strike coming down for the 2K. And this should be point B for the Gladiators, so not stop for long on the attack.
Yeah, bold read by the Gladiators, too, to double down in a fight where they had lost someone. But as soon as they got the pickoff onto Bezzy, they made space with the supercharger and dared the Hangzhou Spark to try and get onto the payload. Ends up working out pretty well for them as they have the Sigma ult as well to create some zones, and they're able to push through. Still only 90 seconds, though. They want to hit all the way through point C.
That's right. Here we go. Gravitic Flux from Void. Ultimate comes in. Surefour with a kill onto Bebe. And it's a pause. All right. Well.
Mid-fight as well.
Yeah.
Might be a bit difficult. That Sigma ult had just started getting channeled from Rhea.
Pretty much, yeah. He's just kind of looking at like a giant pink pizza pie on the ground there.
You call it pizza pies?
It's a pizza pie.
Oh, God.
Put
just a pizza.
I don't know. I'm just saying pizza pie because it sounds funnier. I normally, in my day-to-day life, Doa just says pizza.
He says pizza
Sometimes
pie.
Doa speaks in the third person. That's how it goes. I've never said pizza pie. That's mostly like an East Coast thing, isn't it? To say pizza pie.
I have no
I don't know.
idea.
All right. Anyway, we're back. Gravitic Flux. It's pizza time. Any down
That one, no. Ooh, the indigestion not strong for the Spark right there. Rhea down, though. Hydration gets another one, and now the Gladiators using that sound barrier to push forward. Can they finish this map off, though? Surefour needed a little bit of healing there, and now the Sun onto Hydration gets knocked away, but the Spark zoned out of this fight. The payload has been moving unopposed.
Yeah, but IDK was there on the payload, so they didn't move it at the start of that engagement and allowed the rest of the Spark to retreat and regroup. So IDK playing the objective meant that Surefour had to turn around to deal with them, and Hangzhou doesn't lose any more members because they can't approach them with the Reaper. So IDK there just skating around the backside of the payload, got some really good time actually for the Spark to just strategically back off and then re-engage.
Hangzhou Spark in a pretty good position here with this last defensive fight. 30 seconds remaining, so that's only one real good engage coming in from the Gladiators here. Spark have a slight ultimate advantage, not much of one. The poke might equalize it. The Gladiators can do. Godspeed coming in from behind. Got the Death Blossom. Great form. And can he use it right here? A lot of damage coming in onto the Orisa. Surefour down. They took out the DPS and even Void's kill onto Bezzy. Godspeed gets two. And maybe they can turn it around. The tanks coming alive for the Gladiators. But the respawns are a bit better for the Spark. If they can hold on, they might still be able to do this. Shaz trying desperately to heal his Lucio. Big Goose down, though. It doesn't matter. And Roar gets the kill onto IDK as well. We will see as a Meteor Strike comes in if the Gladiators can push through here, but that's a big Coalescence coming out from Bebe right now. Gladiators trying to hold on. Hydration, not a lot of help, but he finally gets the healing he needs in the end. Exits, there's another Sun for Rhea, but Surefour right there to finish him off. And then the Death Blossom from Godspeed turns it around again. An insane back and forth fight. Now the Gladiators with the sound barrier. IDK so close to his, he gets it in the nick of time. And again, will it come down to those respawns for the Spark? Big Goose, it looks like it might, but he gets one onto Gushui as well. The Hog off the edge, the whole Hog. Oh, and another knockoff onto Shaz. IDK sealing the deal and stopping the Gladiators
from getting all 3 points.
So many of these fights have been somehow the flankers from the Hangzhou Spark, the Doomfist or the Reaper, causing such havoc in the Gladiators' backlines and picking off a support, or just straight up taking out Hydration before the battle can begin.
That's the thing. At the end of the day, it's like in a straight up fight. Can they do it? They got to be scrappy instead. We'll see what happens when we come back.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
Welcome back to King's Row. The Gladiators unable to push the payload all the way. You can see they got it most of the way there, but the Spark coming up with a clutch defense at the very end. And you and I were chatting about this a little bit during the break, but it really is the Spark trying to be, evasive and not fight that like straight up head-to-head fight.
The positioning has been a lot trickier so far. Gladiators, though, they pushed it almost to the end of C, so it's certainly a winnable map for them.
Yep.
As it stands right now, Hangzhou going to be content going into the Doomfist and Reaper mirror. And it's interesting, but neither of these teams coming into this match had played more than 15 team fights as Doomfist this entire year.
Yeah.
And now they're forced to play it. So it certainly has not been something that we expected, and might be slightly outside of the team's comfort zone, at least in 2019.
Here we go, loading up that rocket punch. Bezzy with a bit of damage here as the Spark try to assault point A. Going around from behind again, another good bit of damage, and he doesn't get out this time though. Surefour ready for him, and now the Spark fighting short-handed. 5-6, make it 4-6, make it 3-6 as Surefour picks up a bunch of kills himself and sends the Spark packing. That one's not going to work out.
Yeah, Surefour got around behind the formation, the early elimination onto Bezzy after he had used his cooldowns, and then is able to sweep his way through the hotel onto the tank line. Hangzhou Spark were very focused on Hydration, got the accretion stun onto him, but couldn't get the finisher. So
early accretion stun from Void onto Bebe, like as the map began too. So you're going to see those Sigmas start to get really good about placing those rocks where things begin. There's a big halt at the beginning. IDK getting close to that sound barrier. They're going to need it soon. Hangzhou Spark instead using the Coalescence as they try to push forward here. Rhea drawing ever nearer to that Gravitic Flux, but Void already has his, and he's going to use it right now. Are they going to get the kills? It's a lot of damage, and it looks like it should be enough. Gladiators trying to go in for the cleanup, and they are going to get that. Godspeed with a kill onto Hydration, though, but that's a hero that gets back to the fight in a hurry. We'll see how impactful that is. Meanwhile, the Gladiators would love to get a couple more exit kills on the way out. They do get one onto IDK, who does save his sound barrier. Oh, another one onto Bezzy as well. So Gladiators certainly going to be at full strength in that next fight anyway.
Yeah, you got a little bit greedy right there. Tried to go after Big Goose, but couldn't get the elimination, and that bought enough time for the rest of the Gladiators to hunt him down. So there will not be a player advantage now. Hydration is back with the rest of his teammates. Plenty of ults on the Los Angeles side. Hangzhou nearly matching, however, once Rhea and Gushue top up at 100% here shortly.
Harder to be sneaky when it's such a binary way to approach that Surefour just walks in and unloads the Flower of Death.
That's great for the Gladiators. Didn't even have to use any support ults to cover him during that, so ends up being highly efficient for a Death Blossom right through the choke point right there. They know Hangzhou is trying these flanks. They're trying to set up. So when the Gladiators detect that, then they're going to go after them.
Let's see it again. Well, it's a good old-fashioned teleport in. Oh, they have the supercharger too,
Great
so.
timing on the supercharger.
Yeah, that helps out as well. Meanwhile, the fight has already begun. Your supercharger down now. Hydration stops. Kushui is flat. And it's going to be the defensive Meteor Strike. Bezzy, though, gets a kill on the hydration anyway. Sound barrier now for Spark as they have the 6v5. We'll see what they can do with this fight. It's going to be a right click onto Surefour as they back away. Rhea goes ahead and uses the ultimate. They're going to force the Gladiators off the point right now, and Spark on the verge of getting this payload rolling. We'll see if the Gladiators want to come back in. They tried to flank with Surefour, but Spark was wise to him. There goes the rock through it. Bezzy down there.
Still killing people.
He got the kill anyway. I thought for sure the Spark were going to finish him off, but no. He's coming from behind again. They did not finish the Reaper, and they are paying for it.
Surefour's just running wild in their back line.
They couldn't finish him. I don't know how you get out of that initial flank with, as Surefour. That was crazy.
I think Gladiators are adapting. They realize that a lot of these cooldowns are going to shutting down hydration. So Surefour is just playing more aggressively as a result and just waltzing around in their back line.
Well, Spark denying 3 points from the Gladiators, but the Gladiators might deny any points at all on King's Row from the Hangzhou Spark. They're on the verge of getting full held here. Just 2 ticks taken. There's another Death Blossom coming in from Surefour as he's in the Coalescence, getting so much healing as well. Hydration is like, you know what? It's all right. I'm just going to kill 2 people with my Rocket Punch. Why not? And here comes a Meteor Strike. Time to slam and finish off the Spark as the Gladiators are going to tie this series up. It's all elementary here as the cleanup continues.
Looking really good right now, and they will do it.
Yep.
Tie match here for the Gladiators.